It's hard finding anything worthwhile for just $1 these days. In Canada specifically, even a tiny-sized hamburger at the big-name Burger Emporium across the way is $1.39 plus tax. But every now and again, there comes a deal so ridiculously awesome that no one out there shouldn't take advantage of it. That's right, for just $1, you too can get one of the best shooters on the Xbox 360. Shoot 1 Up is one of the freshest gameplay experiences I've had in quite a while, with all sorts of solid features and cool enhancements that set it apart from almost everything out there, if not everything altogether. With strong influence from Space Megaforce, Gradius, Darius, and Heavy Metal Magazine, Mommy's Best Games has really put together a very unique game that deserves as much attention as possible because of its broad accessibility and great fun factor. But what makes Shoot 1 Up stand out from the pack? Let's take a look. The first thing that you're going to notice when you start playing Shoot 1 Up is that you're in immediate control of 3 ships. Finding your first 1-up happens immediately, and an interesting thing happens when you collect it. Unlike regular shoot 'em ups that have a life stock, whenever you pick up a 1-up, a new ship is added to your fleet in-game, and in real time. A skilled player can actually have up to 30 ships on screen at once. But of course, since there's a lot of fire on screen, maintaining a 30 ship count can be quite difficult at times. In addition to having so many ships, you can also expand and contract how far these ships are from each other. This will have an effect on scoring, which I'll get into later, but when your ships are expanded, you also have access to a giant laser. This incredibly powerful weapon will keep firing as long as you don't lose one of your ships, which is really handy when it comes down to taking out these enormous bosses at the end of the stage. But as if that weren't enough, there's also another way for you to take out your enemies as well. You also have access to a shield burst, which will damage or destroy any enemy shots or ships within their radius as it's activated. The shield burst radius will increase so long as you're not firing your main weapon, and activates as you start firing. And when it comes right down to it, the shield burst is the key to getting the highest score. I know there are people out there like me that like to kick back, relax, zone out, and blast everything on screen in one of these games. It's one of the things that appeals to me with shoot 'em ups. But there are many others out there that claim that without a solid scoring system, the point of a shoot 'em up is moot. I'm happy to report that Shoot 1 Up has an extremely good scoring system, which is entirely unique. There are 2 main factors to take into consideration when you're going for the high score. The first is how far your ships are from each other. The second is how proficient you are with the shield burst technique. The shield burst technique will give you a 10x multiplier on any point you score. Now that alone should easily get you to rack up a high score. However, if your ships are fully expanded, you also get a 30x multiplier on top of that. That means any score you get is 300 times the base value. In certain cases, you can score well over 1,000,000 points for taking out a single enemy. Having your ships fully expanded though is a dangerous thing to do, as with so many enemies and so many shots in so many places, you're bound to lose a significant portion of your fleet if it gets hairy fast. If this does happen, the explosion from your destroyed ship will heavily damage or destroy anything that's around, which of course means a higher score. So you might be thinking, okay, multipliers and timing, nothing new there, right? Well, you would be right, except that's not the actual unique part of the system. In every other shoot 'em up that I'm aware of, your points are simply tallied in the corner of the screen. In Shoot 1 Up, it's your responsibility to pick up the numbers on the screen. Oh, see that 1.3 million points? Oh, you lost it. This can be really frustrating at times, but that's what makes a high score chase so challenging. Such a unique scoring system is definitely one of the things that makes Shoot 1 Up a very solid experience. Even level progression in Shoot 1 Up is fairly unique. Around the mid-stage point, you're given the choice to progress either normally or choose a more difficult path. The most striking of these choices allows you to change the game from a vertical to a horizontal shooter mid-stage. Additionally, other stages allow you to fly your ship in any direction, thus firing in the same direction that you travel. Even the 2-player game offers a unique experience. The 30-ship rule applies to each player, allowing for up to 60 ships on screen. Well, that is if the other player isn't a jerk and steals them on you. And finally, outside of the standard difficulties, there's also the Score Trek mode. In this particular game mode, you have just one ship to get the job done. All 1-ups are replaced with power-up items, so the rest relies on pure skill. On the presentation side of things, Shoot 'One Up's cool biological motif really stands out. The sound effects are decent, but the music comes off as a little generic, even if the tunes are fairly catchy. With the recent update, the menus have also undergone a fairly decent overhaul, making menu navigation easy to do and nice to look at. The in-game achievements are also a very nice touch, not to mention the unlockable ships. With so much fun factor and production value in this package, especially for just $1, there's really no reason for you not to check it out. But when it all comes down to it, how does Shoot 'One Up stack up? Let's take a look. Overall, Shoot 'One Up is a very satisfying experience. In terms of control, your ship moves around at a very good rate. However, with a fully expanded fleet, it becomes very hard not to take casualties. This does play into the risk-reward factor for this game though. Lengthwise, Shoot 'One Up has 6 fairly long stages to navigate. With the option to take multiple paths through the game, there's also quite a bit of replay value as well. The addition of achievements certainly doesn't hurt either. On the audio-visual front, the biological theme is very cool. With a lack of overall animation in the sprites, they lose a point. The sound effects are good, but the music, while catchy, is fairly generic. And of course, taking the really cool scoring factors into account, not to mention the ability to have 30 ships per player on screen, and having the scrolling of the stage change in real time, the ingenuity factor is off the chart. It all makes for an incredibly unique gameplay experience. And of course, at just $1, it's a game that no Xbox 360 owner should be without.